Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals here with some more StarCraft 2 action. Today I've got some PvT. It is between probably one of the most awesome guys in terms of what they do to try and get into an event ever, Mr. desRow, and probably the best British StarCraft player going. Like, actually from nationality, I know Bling would come up there probably pretty close. I'm sure Apollo could give him a run for his money if he played a lot. DeMusliM. So these two are really solid, but desRow, and who is desRow, the reason he's so cool is, I don't know if anyone else watched this, I know lots of people did, he actually shaved his head on stream to raise money to get to MLG, which is pretty hardcore. Like, I wouldn't shave my head to do that, and that is partly because I'm slightly in love with my hair, but also because, wow, that is real dedication. DeMusliM, of course, is a great guy, apart from the fact that he, like Total Biscuit, ran away from the lovely kingdom of England to go to United States to go and play for Evil Geniuses. But no, he's a really solid player. He does really well, and I really would love to try. I might actually try and see if I could arrange a show match between DeMusliM and Bling. That would be quite amusing. Who do you reckon would win? Let me know in the comments below. But yes, PvT on Daybreak. Daybreak is my favourite map ever, and anyone who watches my channel frequently will know that every time I cast a game on Daybreak, I'm like, this is my favourite map! And it's literally like a kid's show or something, where it's just like, you're my best friend! And that's pretty much how it goes down. That's how it goes down around these parts of YouTube. We're just like, we like these maps, and I'm not afraid to tell you. But yes, in terms of strategy, these two are actually going for a pretty standard opening. Gas Gate, racks, nothing too freaky going on in the first 2 minutes 40, which is always good. If something freaky does go on in the first 2 minutes 40, it's usually a short game, which all comes down to some intense micro, like something ridiculous like a proxy 2 gate or something like that. But anyway, currently one gas, one cybercore, no gas yet for DeMusliM, probably going to get down a relatively quick command center, especially when he's got an SCV rallied. One probe here though. Probe, are you going to try and block that command center? Because if you are, you're going to have to go. Oh, you got there too late. You're not going to be able to block. You're going to have to run away because now there's a marine chasing you. What did they tell you a blocking score? They were like, look, little probe, don't do that. Pylons coming down, SCV scouting out everything. Sees only one gas, so that's fine. Could be a 4 gate. Other than that, nothing really to be worried about. Could just be some pressure. You could also get down a relatively quick stalker. So yeah, should be a stalker coming up after that. There we go. So one Zealot, one stalker. Gonna go and take probably a relatively quick expansion, or at least fake it anyway, because this probe being down here is just like, I want to expand, I want to expand, hey guys, I want to expand, and DeMusliM is just blocking it, being like, oh, okay, well you can if you want to. There's a bank up of minerals for the time being, so we'll wait to see precisely what happens. Good little micro on this Zealot, actually blocking off the, oh, but better micro by DeMusliM, just being like, nope, I'm gonna get that out of there. Nexus coming down now, there we go. So yeah, these two both expanding quickly. One gate expand, one racks expand, going into some more barracks. So DeMusliM is playing this the standardest of standard you could possibly do. There isn't a more average build order in existence than going for a 1 rack CC followed up by 2 racks, 2 gas. It is safe, it is economical, and you still get your tech out. desRow though, he's doing a similar thing for the moment. This probe coming forward, just faking actually a bit of pressure, being like, hey, I've got a probe, I've got a Zealot and a Stalker, Mothership Core also on its way over. And this is actually with the Mothership Core, where this can get a little bit scary. Another Marine is going to have to run for its life, but does manage it to get back into the bunker. And the reason the Mothership Core is quite cool is because with a time warp, you can really actually get a couple of infantry units with just a Zealot and Stalker, which is really nice. The robotics facility coming down, so one gate expand into a robo. These two literally wanted to be so average this game so far. They wanted to go for nothing exciting. They wanted to basically make my job as a caster the most difficult it could possibly be, and just be like, do you know what, Madals? This is, by the way, what they thought when they played this game. They're like, Madals is going to find this game, and we're going to make it really awkward for him to cast by just having to fill loads of space of the time with just dead talk, really. And so I apologize for that, viewers. I hope my talking is at least mildly amusing to you, but I can assure you, in the near future, we will be having some action, because these two, when you're pumping out units and tech this quickly, you're going to get up some very interesting arm being on positions. What I'm waiting to see if DeMusliM does is chuck down an engineering bay. I really am feeling it, because +1 with a stim timing is really potent, especially if you get 2 medevacs. 2 medevacs stim +1 with Marines and Mortars is crazy good against Protoss at the moment. It's really, really powerful. Photon Overcharge has helped, allowing people to defend it, so I'm glad that desRow's got that Mothership core out quite quickly. But just generally speaking, it's a really nice composition that I thoroughly enjoy. But wait to see whether it does come down. He's getting this 3rd gas, so that gas has got to be going somewhere. And if it's not upgrades, then who knows where. But desRow, he's getting out of Twilight Council, so he's not actually teching up into Colossus, which is the more common thing to see. Instead, he's just going to be powering it in order to try and get a couple more, well, probably High Templar. He could also go for an early Blink, but I think High Templar is the most likely thing to be coming out of this. There's the stim, there's the Engineering Bay. The Engineering Bay fractionally later if he wants to sync up the +1 though, so that's no worries. He might be going for a +1 plus combat shield timing push, which is also very potent. There's the Forge. Twilight Council finishing up, so we'll get revealed what desRow is trying to do. 4 gas Mothership core, obviously still just chilling there, banking up the energies, because all the energies is always good. The Observer also getting a really nice read. What has the Observer actually seen? If we take a look, so he's seen the Stargate, he's seen most things, but what he hasn't actually spotted is that Engineering Bay, which is now researching +1, and it's always good to try and pick that off, or not pick it off, but even know it's coming, because that's a real big giveaway to the timing push. And desRow, this is just a really interesting build. Like, getting Blink down, following up with a Robotics Bay, getting that early Blink is really something you don't see too often, because it's not going to be too effective against the +1 timing push, so that's something you do have to be a little bit worried on. And the first Colossus is going to be heavily delayed due to getting that Twilight Council out so soon, so it's not like it's a Colossus rush. Additional gateways being added on, that's just going to be useful, because you need that as your macro starts really getting into place. The 2 medevacs are on their way. Stim is done, but Combat Shield hasn't been started. That's something which I must say isn't so common. Usually you get Combat Shield straight away after, so DeMusliM just wanting to go out and move out for that push. +1 is still a good 50 seconds away though, and he's moving out, so he doesn't want to push him before that +1's done. There goes Combat Shield, synced up a bit late, so again, this is why usually you tend to see everything timed up, so you can move in with that stim, +1 and combat shield all at the same time. But DeMusliM just starting to move across the map, and look at how little is here right now for desRow. He's hallucinating a Phoenix, going to go and try and scout it out. Did he actually see that coming over? Was that Zealot of the Watchtower? It may have been, I should have checked that. The first Colossus is still only half done, getting chrono boosted like mad. Some Force Fields will buy desRow some time, but DeMusliM, he's rapidly approaching that point where he's going to have +1 infantry weapons, and this force suddenly becomes absolutely terrifying. It already is with stim, but the Colossus coming out, that needs to be microed well, because there is an extended thermal lance. It isn't even started yet, so there's no way that's going to be finished by the time this engagement comes in. DeMusliM going to probably try and bait some Force Fields. Some nice Force Fields there for the moment. A Time Warp goes down as well. That Colossus doing some nice damage, but does not outrange the Marauders, which is the problem. A good little pickup. DeMusliM going to be forced back for the time being. Blink is finished. Does manage to get that medevac. Oh my, that was a loss there. Until that point, DeMusliM actually had done pretty even damage, but the second that medevac goes down, desRow really came off better in that engagement. 2 more barracks being added on. I saw a second forge as well. I wasn't imagining things. So that second forge is coming down. We've got the armory, so +2, 1 upgrades are going to get started shortly. Combat shield is now finished. The Colossus picking off the factory, and the reason this is a problem is because if this factory dies, which it will now, you can't make any more starports without rebuilding your factory. That in turn just ultimately means you can't start double production. Oh, but I didn't actually notice, to be fair. DeMusliM does have a second starport up, so he's going to be fine. He can make 4 Vikings at a time, which is all that really matters. A double drop coming in towards the main base. The Observer spots it. Will there be a reaction? 4 Zealots there already. Boosting in, though, and that infantry ball is going to be able to do quite a nice little bit of damage here. And I'm trying to get an angle where you can see this, but with Stalkers there, a good blink, another medevac going down. desRow really focusing down those medevacs effectively, and as such, it's something that should be fairly fun to watch. Now, ultimately, the Immortal is out. This is a single Colossus immediate tech switch into Storm, and this immediate tech switch is always fun to watch because many Terran players won't actually identify. They'll spot the Colossus, wherever it is. They'll spot the Colossus and be like, okay, he's going Colossus. Better make some Vikings, bro. And then they will literally make about 6, 8, 10 Vikings, then come over and be like, he's only got 1 Colossus, storm, and be dead. And they don't have any ghosts. What DeMusliM needs to identify is that there is a stop in the Colossus production. He needs to ideally get a scan off and see that the Templar Archives is there, so he can start his ghost production, because that's going to be the really important thing for him. But he's committing to +1 ship weapons, so that single Colossus is going to die very quickly. But as we can see from the units tab, 2 Templar already out, more on their way. And as they just keep pumping, it's going to get harder and harder for DeMusliM to deal with those without the aid of EMP and Snipe. So he desperately needs to get Ghosts out fairly soon, or not necessarily needs to get them out really soon. He just needs to identify that the tech switch has occurred, because that's what late game Terran against Protoss is all about, is the correct unit composition and the balance up between Ghosts, Vikings and infantry. And if you manage that, then actually you're going to do really well against Protoss, as long as your attack engagements aren't terrible. And this is really what we're going to see coming on later now, with the obviously 4th command center on its way, the 3rd already taken. Both these players really macroing up. The worker count 672 to 62, so 10 advantage to DeMusliM, plus 3 mules actually means that economically speaking, he is really looking solid right now, and that is allowing him to pull ahead in terms of the supply count. He's just playing, he's not doing anything too crazy. Here comes the Ghost Academy. Did he do a scan off to see anything? No, he hasn't. So just blindly building that, or not blindly building it, but knowing that High Templar will be coming out or should be coming out, it's better to have it just hitting the normal timings of it. So it's not a reactionary build, it's just a good build order by him for the moment. Additional gateways are on their way. And this is just standard. I don't even know. Sometimes I point out obvious things in my casts, because when you're solo casting, you get into this thing where you always want to have something to talk about, and you point out something like, he's making additional gateways. And it's like, of course he is, Madals. Why wouldn't he be making additional gateways? And that is always something which is the curse of solo casting. But alas, I hope some of you tuned in to me casting the ESED UK Masters and stuff like that, because that's when I get to dual cast with awesome people. But DeMusliM is trying to push in now. The Colossus is there, and this is when DeMusliM suddenly goes, hang on, there's only one. Storms are starting to hit. The infantry does have to be careful. The Zealots doing a nice amount of damage. They do have charge, and these Storms just really ripping apart DeMusliM's army. But he's got reinforcements coming in. He's dealt well with the units here already, and with the lack of additional splash damage and the number of Storms remaining being just one, this is going to be a very, very close hold at the moment for desRow. But look at this, there's just a stream of reinforcements on their way in. So while desRow's held off round 1 of this push, round 2 could be very, very painful. And this is the real drawback of only getting a single Colossus out, is usually you want to get a couple more at the same time. Once you've got some High Templar out, you want to keep the Colossi production up, especially off of 3 base. You can manage both. DeMusliM is getting his 4th. desRow just starting his 4th now, so a slight economic lead to the Terran. Also, quite an A worker lead plus mules in terms of income. That's great for Terran. And just generally speaking, desRow is behind at this point. You can tell that by the supply upgrades. Fairly even, 2-2 against 2-2, so very even actually. 3-3 is on the way though, but only plus 3 weapons for DeMusliM at the moment, so that means that eventually desRow will get slightly ahead, but he's going to have to chrono boost those out, and DeMusliM is going to be relentless in this pressure, already doing a nice lot of damage, needs to pull those infantry out. DeMusliM does start doing that. He needs to split his army well, very effectively against Storm. Splitting is one of the most important things, and also getting out of them quickly, because otherwise they deal a huge amount of damage very quickly. Good little scan just says, okay, what have you got, what can I deal with? The Vikings even landing to be like, oh bro, we can't attack any Colossi, so I guess we might as well land. It's not like there's an Ultralisk here. And now with the Colossus out, they're finally going to be able to have their fun. That should get shredded fairly quickly. 1 Colossus versus 5 Vikings. Not going to be too good. This is a great engagement for DeMusliM. Look at this spread on his units. Absolutely perfect. Really great attack arc. The Storms are not hitting yet. The Colossus is dead. There goes down a Storm. A couple of feedbacks on the Madals as well. The infantry is getting a little bit low in numbers, actually to the point that it's slightly scary. That engagement should have gone a lot better for DeMusliM, but quite a lot of his medevacs are actually out of range of healing his infantry, which is not ideal. This Stalker will go down. The Colossus are pushing forward. The reinforcements coming in yet again, making sure that they try and deal some damage. The Archon's actually tanking up a lot of fire. Where are the Ghosts, DeMusliM? A couple of EMPs, and you would be going a lot finer. So, plus 3-3 is nearly done for desRow. 3-3, well, plus 3 weapons has just finished with DeMusliM, plus 3 armor just started. A lot of medevacs going down. DeMusliM looking to be in some problems. desRow really coming back nicely into this game. He's got his 4th base up. Income-wise, he is still slightly behind, but he's got the additional gas that he really needs. And ultimately, he's spending his money well. DeMuslim's got an awful lot of gas banked up for the time being. Small little warp in, getting ready here. More pylons coming down. What are you planning to desRow? Doom drop, doom drop, doom drop is coming in, and there is nothing to defend. All the army is down there at the 4th base. Not going to be able to get back easily to defend this. The Storm does go down, but now the High Templar does die. A second Storm gets off before it falls, so precisely what he needs. The Nexus is getting focused, and if that Nexus goes down and then just all these units are picked up and boosted out, that would be ace. The single Colossus, don't go alone. It is not safe, and that is why you don't send a Colossus out in front of your army. But this infantry is doing really, really nicely. tight choke points which aren't too friendly. A lot of Stalkers going down, and a lot of DeMusliM's army not actually a lot of DeMusliM's army attacking the fourth, a lot of desRow's army just not engaging. The boost coming down here, DeMusliM really going for the modifying attack, losing the fourth base in the middle. desRow is now a base down, which is not what you want, losing a stupid number of probes as well. 25 have been killed, and they've pretty much all been from this push. That means that DeMusliM at 72 to 49 workers. Storms are starting to finally clean this up, but still wave after wave warping in. The reinforcements are coming. GG, no other options. So DeMusliM, that was a good back and forth game actually. I'd say he was ahead. There was a little bit where I was a little bit worried, and I did mention that when desRow started moving across, and suddenly DeMusliM didn't seem to have too much. But all in all, DeMusliM played really solid there. He did damage when he needed to, and that multi-prong harassment, just the doom drop into the main, was ace. So thank you very much for everyone for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up every day of the week, so you should check me out daily if you want StarCraft and you like StarCraft and you like my casting, because that'd be swish. I hope you enjoy. Catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now.